what is the typical and average margin on a watch deal? Let's consider the margin on everybody's favorite brand, the most sold brand when it comes to luxury watches, and that's Rolex. Because of its high demand, Rolex actually has the smallest margin of any watch brand that there is. We are talking like 5, 6, 7% on the typical and average Rolex sale. You know, if you're looking at a $100,000 Platinum Daytona versus a $10,000 no-date Submariner, like there's levels to it. But the average when it comes to a Rolex, you know, you're really in that 5% range. Now, with RMs or some of the more expensive brands like Patek, you know, we're still shooting for that 5 to 7 to 10% range in terms of margin. Obviously, when you think, oh, 5% is nothing. Well, when you do 5% of, you know, a $200,000 watch sale, obviously it's going to net out to be significantly greater than it would be if you were to sell like, you know, a regular like Datejust at, you know, $10,000 or $15,000 at 5%. We kind of covered like the middle brand, you know, being Rolex, and that's sort of like anywhere from 10 to, let's call it $40,000 price point. RMs, Patek, AP on the higher end, and then now let's go to the very beginning, you know, let's call it 10K and below. Believe it or not, the margins on watches that are under $10,000 generally are a lot better. I mean, we're talking in some cases like 20 to 30%. 30% of a watch that's $5,000, the actual net number itself is not particularly strong, but the margin percentage is significantly greater than it would be for like an RM or a Rolex or a Patek. You know, the general rule of thumb, if I can make anywhere from 5 to 10% on a watch, I'm like literally dreaming. What I always tell people, and it's kind of a joke, is Rolex, you know, obviously pretty much every watch dealer's bread and butter. You know, that 5% margin and the consistency of it is really what keeps the lights on and the bills paid. You know, the Patek and the Audemars margin is what sends me on vacation. As far as margins go, what did you think? Did you have it in your mind that watch dealers were like absolutely crushing and making 50% margin, or were the numbers like as expected?